It's a high-banked half-mile, crowded with cars and competition. That's why qualifying is even more critical here at the ultra-modern Bristol Motor Speedway, the track you know as Thunder Valley.
And folks, you've been asking for it. You've been wanting to come to see a race at Bristol, Tennessee. It's going to be possible. Look at this, 118,000 seats for this race. In August, 130,000 seats. I remember when all they had was on the front, the little gray bleachers, and the gray bleachers on the back. They probably seat 25,000. But now 118,000, and as you can see, they're continuing to build. This place is unbelievable. And talk about people not being able to get in the race. What about the cars, Bill Weber?
Hey, Benny, as Jerry mentioned, 47 cars here for a maximum of 43 starting positions. And I'll tell you, it's going to be quite a fight when these guys go out on the racetrack. They used to just run 37 cars at this track. More cars coming to the races, more cars getting in the race. But there's still not enough room for everybody. Who's fast so far? Well, Mark Martin has 4 straight poles here. He was 5th fastest in the second practice session. He goes out 45th. That team has battled an electrical glitch all day long here. They're still trying to fix it. The guy that's fastest so far, 6-time Bristol winner, Rusty Wallace. And he's fastest despite the fact that he spun on the backstretch in practice earlier this afternoon. First round qualifying today. Everybody gets 2 laps. The fastest lap counts. There are 21 pit stalls on the front stretch, so you really want to get your qualifying run, a good one, in today. There's second round tomorrow, but you know what? The forecast for tomorrow includes a 90% chance of rain. You got a better chance of beating Benny to the dessert tray than you do a qualifying here tomorrow, but we got our fingers crossed. At any rate, a lot of activity coming up here. 47 cars, 43 spots, 21 pit positions on the front stretch, and I'll tell you, this place is gonna be hopping. BP?
What do you mean the dessert tray? Can't you? Anyway, folks, Ned Jarrett not in the booth today with his trusty stopwatch. Hey, Jerry, I got to watch. I'm ready. I'll help you out and also time these babies. Make sure we'll keep NASCAR on the up and up. Okay, Jerry?
All right, BP. Live to Bristol Motor Speedway, Thunder Valley in Bristol, Tennessee. We are set for Busch Pole qualifying for the 37th running of the Food City 500. Now, there have been 6 events thus far, but only 4 qualifying events because rain has limited qualifying in 2. That's why, if you look at the guys who qualified for the Busch Clash, there are only 4 names. Mike Skinner, a rookie at Daytona, Mark Martin at Rockingham, another rookie, Robbie Gordon, set on the pole at Atlanta, and Dale Jarrett on the pole at Darlington. Huge weekend coming up on ESPN and ESPN2 tomorrow. Our Moore's Snacks 250 NASCAR Busch Series coverage comes to you live at 2 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. Then happy hour, that final 1-hour practice session, 6 o'clock Eastern on the News, ESPN2. And of course, Sunday the action. NASCAR Today. Dave Despain will be on hand 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, followed by our live flag-to-flag coverage of the Food City 500 NASCAR Winston Cup event at 1 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, and welcome to Bristol, Tennessee, one of my all-time favorite tracks. And I've always loved coming here because of the competition, but this year, this place looks like a Rose Bowl around a racetrack. Benny Parsons showed you 118,000 seats here. It'll be 130,000 when we come back in August. Thousands of people crowding in here, and of course, millions watching at home. And it all starts right now with Winston Cup qualifying. You heard us say 47 cars aren't going to fit in 43 starting spots. They're getting ready to begin qualifying as the first car probably isn't going to get a chance to go right now, and Bill Weber is standing by to tell us why.
Well, Dr. Punch, this is the 17 of Darrell Waltrip. First of all, look at the colors. It matches the old Budweiser's paint scheme that Darrell had so much success with. He was scheduled to be the first car out, but the transmission was starting to seize up, and he is not going to be able to go out first. He's won here a bunch of times, and he's standing around looking a little forlorn. What's the matter with this Western Auto Chevy?
Well, I kept getting slower and slower, and I kept driving harder and harder, and I said, man, something's not going right here, and we had a problem with the transmission. And fortunately, we caught it because we were getting ready to go qualify. And one of the boys said, I think we got a transmission locking up, and that's what it was. So glad we found it when we did. But I told him, I said, we're going to paint these cars these different colors. They ought to run better than this one does, because this is not tradition. It's supposed to be fast.
Those colors have worked real well for you in the past, and you've won a bunch here.
Well, I like the car a lot, and it's running pretty good, but that was really throwing us a curve, because it just kept, it's like running with the brakes on. So Parts America car will be there when time comes.
Okay, that's Darrell Waltrip. They're working on his car.
All right, qualifying, getting ready to get underway. Two of the guys that are watching and waiting ranked first and second in the points. Dale Jarrett leads Terry Labonte by 95 points as we get set for qualifying next. Our speed roll coverage of Busch Pole qualifying for the Food City 500 being brought to you by Pure Later. To protect your engine, remember, pure oil now, pure oil later, pure later. And by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. Busch Grand National qualifying just concluded a moment ago. They're making the transition of the racetrack from Busch Grand National qualifying. That was a little wild. This guy, you saw and you heard Bill Weber tell you, he's had a little bit of a struggle today. The car's been quickest in both practice sessions. But, Bill, he had a little bit of a heartbeat skip there when the car got a little out of shape early in the day.
Boy, Jerry, you find out how much room there really is on the backstretch here when something like that happens. Rusty looking it over. They're talking tires. What they're looking right now to see if that tire is going to rub on that front left fender during the race. So they want to get as much clearance in there as possible. And they don't want, let's lean in here for just a sec. Well, I'll tell you what, Rusty's going to pull that away. And let's go down to Betty Parsons.
Well, all right, this is the winner of the race to Texas, the Interstate Batteries 500 in Texas Motor Speedway. Been a short 5 days, huh?
It's real short. This is the Winston Cup Circus right here. You know, you can have a really good day or a really bad day, and then you turn right around and you go racing again. That's good when things aren't going well, because you get to go get you another chance to do better. But after a win, you want to go home and celebrate a little bit. We didn't have time.
Had 2 in a row?
This place here is it's awfully tough. We've run well all morning, but the track changes here a little bit. If you're not just right for qualifying, you get yourself in trouble. And we came here to finish. This is a really tough racetrack. We didn't finish either race last year, and we need to finish this race.
Start third in the Busch race tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, we had a good qualifying effort there. We were 6th, 7th fastest, you know, at last practice, and stepped it up a little bit. We were 8th fastest in the Cup car, so 8th or 9th. So if we can step that up a little bit, I'll be real happy. But if we can leave here today with a top 10 starting position, I'll be just tickled to death.
All right, where were you going to find out about the spin cycle? Is that what you're doing?
I'll ask him about it. He's still working with Jeff Thousandth on this front left tire. Hey, this sheet says you're fastest, but what was that pirouette back there?
I just want to see how fast I could go. I took her to the limit.
Yeah. And didn't hit anything. Is it wider back there? Well, it's 4 feet wider, actually, than it used to be.
No, I ran a real good I've been running pretty good the whole time here, and I blocked it off to the bonsai run a 44, and I told the guys, I said, the way I'm driving that corner, I said it was running really, really hard through the center, and I just tried to give it too much throttle up off the corner, and when I done that, it just wouldn't take it. And there wasn't nobody around me. I just spun it and kept looking all around, make sure it didn't hit nothing, you know.
Long time since you've had a pole, Rusty. Can you get one here this afternoon?
Well, I hope so. I mean, I got to quit telling myself I can't qualify, you know, because I can if I put my mind to it, I guess. We're running great. In fact, we're running really good. And, yeah, I can get a pole today if I keep my head on right and get real aggressive.
Okay, that's Rusty Wallace looking to take the Miller Lite Ford to the pole here at Bristol.
And he's referring to a 44. That's a 15.44 seconds. That indeed was the fastest lap in the second practice session. They are checking the racetrack, cleaning some debris off the racetrack after Busch Grand National qualifying. Their safety crews will come back and have the first car rolling with Busch Pole qualifying in a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, concentration begins in earnest as they want to get one of those starting spots. Last-minute adjustments being made. The cars, 47 of them, lined up. The crowd jamming their way into the front stretch. And tonight, you'll be able to get all the results as RPM tonight will bring them to you. John Kernan and all the staff at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Kart qualified from Long Beach, California. Formula One practice from Argentina. And NHRA from Atlanta. That's on RPM tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. First car to make an attempt to qualify here in Bristol for the 37th running of the Food City 500. David Green in the Caterpillar Chevrolet. how disappointed this young man was last week at Texas. Did not get a chance to get in the starting field. Did not run the Interstate Batteries 500. Bose McCall, the car owner, David Green, so they've all waited a very, very long 5 days to come to Bristol, Tennessee to get a chance to get in this race. 15.828 seconds, speed 121.228 miles per hour. First time by. They will run 2 laps of qualifying. And David Green brings the car down pit road after that lap in the Caterpillar Chevrolet. The track record is 15.339, set by Mark Martin back in August of 1995. There are the 2 laps for David Green, 15.843. The second lap a little bit slower than the first. Here's the Pennzoil Pontiac of Johnny Benson on the track to qualify. In practice today, he was 46th fastest. Had trouble getting the car up to speed in that first session of Winston Cup practice. They got the car a little bit better second time by. In the second session, his first lap, 15.993 seconds, 119.977 miles an hour. 2 consecutive laps of qualifying. They happened in a hurry here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And the second lap, 15.888, considerably quicker, over 120.770 miles per hour.
Kind of confusing, Jerry. The first car out, David Green, was faster on his first lap than the second lap. Now the second car out, Johnny Benson, ran faster on his second lap. We're trying to find, you know, which is faster, the first lap or the second lap. But so far, these guys haven't told us a thing as Morgan Shepherd takes the green flag.
Morgan Shepherd's best finish in a Winston Cup car, third here once in the '83 Food City race. He's won 4 times in a Busch Grand National car sideways out of turn 4, gathers it back in, comes across the stripe for that lap in the Cruising America. And you see Dale Jarrett, some of the other drivers watching, 16.061 for Shepherd sideways at the end of the first lap, Benny, 119.470.
You know, the worst part about that, Jerry, it ruined both laps. As he gets sideways off the 4th corner coming down for the white flag, it ruins that lap. And he's lost his momentum for the second lap. So what a tough break. If you're going to get loose, you want to do it in the second corner, not turn 4.
And you're exactly right, Benny. He slid all the way out of turn 4, and the car was still wagging back and forth. That second lap was 0.3 of a second slower at 117.308 miles per hour. He is third quickest. Here is last week's winner. You just heard Benny talk to 29-year-old Jeff Burton. His first win in 95 Winston Cup starts. They have been on a cloud all week long, trying to put that car on the pole. Thus far, 121.228 the time to beat for the Exide Batteries Ford Thunderbird driver, Jeff Burton. And the new pole, 15.744 seconds for Burton, 121.875 miles per hour. Second time by for Burton. Folks, they happened in a hurry here. The laps are just 15 seconds long. And he's even quicker on the second lap, 15.697 seconds, 122.240. Bill?
Well, David, you missed the race last week because of all the rain. I know you wanted to come here and run a good lap. Are you happy with your qualifying effort?
Well, not really, Bill. You know, I didn't hit nothing, so you can always be kind of happy. But we really struggled there the first practice. Had a little motor problem and missed all, but I made 3 laps this morning, and that killed us. And but, you know, that time right there is pretty decent for no more laps we got on the track. So hopefully that'll hold up. I know the rain's coming tomorrow, and my poor car owner, Buzz McCall, I think he hand-delivered that entry blank this week, so thanks for that. But, you know, the rain will probably wash out tomorrow's qualifying, so if we'll drive today, we'll be okay, and I'll be happy.
David Green with his fingers crossed. Benny with Jimmy Spencer.
Hey, Spencer, we're a little bit confused. We're trying to figure out which lap is better, the first lap or second lap.
Well, Benny, by what indication showed in the practice this morning, this afternoon, the first lap's the key lap. If anybody goes faster in the second lap in Cup, it'll be a little surprise, I think.
Well, and the Smoking Joe car running pretty well?
Yeah, it ran a lot slower the second lap. That's why I'm saying that.
But it was good. It was fast the first lap.
It is, Benny. You know, I think Rusty ran about a 40-something, and Jeff Bodine ran a low 50, and so did we. So, you know, I take it right now. Hopefully we'll be in the top 5. That's what we're shooting for with the Camel Ford.
All right, Jerry, what did Jeremy Mayfield do?
All right, Jack Sprague is the 32-year-old driver subbing for Ricky Craven in the Budweiser Chevrolet. Mayfield ran a 20.816 first time by and a 15.882 first time by. His best lap 120.816 miles an hour. Second time for Mayfield 15.981 was slower, 120.068. Jack Sprague first time by for the 32-year-old driver, fifth quickest, 16.056 seconds, 119.507 miles per hour for the Craftsman Truck Series competitor who finished second last year in the points. 6 wins, subbing for Ricky Craven, and his second lap was a little bit slower, 16.075 seconds, 119.365 miles per hour. 2 fifth-place finishes here in truck competition, but his first start in a Winston Cup car, subbing for the injured Ricky Craven. Here is the Kellogg Chevrolet Texan Terry Labonte. 5 top 10 finishes this season has him planked second in the point standings, just 95 points behind Dale Jarrett. Thus far, the quickest time in qualifying, 122.240 miles per hour, set by Jeff Burton. Here is Labonte, and he bobbles a little bit out of turn 4. 15.758 seconds, second quickest, 121.767 miles per hour for the Kellogg Chevrolet. Second time by for the defending Winston Cup Series champion is slower, 15.855 seconds, 121.022, but the first lap good enough to put him second quickest thus far behind 29-year-old Jeff Burton. This guy right here still on a cloud after winning last Sunday. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Hot Wheels Pontiac on for qualifying. Kyle Petty gets back in the throttle, bobbles a little bit. His first lap, 15.740 seconds, 121.906 miles an hour. Second quickest for Kyle Petty. Second time by. Most of the second laps have been slower. We'll see if Kyle indeed does slow down. 15.744, 4 thousandths of a second slower. Very consistent laps for Kyle Petty, 121.875, and that first lap good enough to put him second place behind this guy who's standing by with Bill Weber.
And that's Jeff Burton. Big win at Texas, big run here. You're on the pole right now. Is it going to stand up?
No, it's not going to be close. I think you're going to need to run a high 40 to be in the pole. You know, maybe a low 50 will pull it off, but I think it'll take a high 40. We were hoping we could run a low 60. We ran a 69, so we're a little bit disappointed. A 10th here is a lot to give up. We're not overly disappointed because that was a good lap, but it wasn't exactly what we were hoping for.
And tires are a story here, whether guys were going to go on stickers or scuffs. You guys talked about it for a long time.
We did. We used the Busch car quite a bit today to try to help us make that decision. We went on scuffs. I don't know who's going on stickers, but we went on scuffs. We went on a real hard lap scuff, almost a full lap we ran on our tire. Don't know if that was the right thing to do or not, but we felt like it was.
Talking to me wasn't the right thing because Hut just knocked you off the pole. That's the last time I'll talk to him for a while.
And I bet the last time he'll talk to you for a while. Okay, Hut Strickland, great lap for Hut Strickland, Circuit City Ford. You saw it's 15.648 seconds was the faster of the 2 laps, 122.623 miles per hour, puts him currently first. While we were away a moment ago, Kenny Schrader qualified at 15.757 seconds, 121.774 miles per hour in the Skoll Chevrolet. Schrader in the car number 33, currently 4th quickest. And his first lap was quicker than his second, although the second lap was just 1/1000th of a second slower. The first lap, the one we took for Kenny Schrader. The Jasper Federal Mogul Ford of Bobby Hillin on the track for qualifying. Trying the best of time just said a moment ago by Hut Strickland. There is Hillin's first lap, 9th quickest, 15.911 seconds, 120.596 miles per hour. Second lap, first Hillin, 16.013, slower, considerably slower, 119.828. Hillin stays 9th quickest. Let's go down to Benny.
Ernie Irvin, I heard that you got a cut under the chin.
Yeah, actually my head went down so far that I hit the sternum strap, but everything really held up good, and little cut.
Let me show you what the sternum strap is. That's this belt there.
That holds them belts together. You know, when Neil Bonnet crashed one time up at Dover, he thought they spread the belt some. So now everybody runs the sternum strap in it. That way the belts can't spread.
But your chin went down and cut on the...
Yep, just a little bit.
Man, that's a pretty good ways to go down there to this. All right, new pole sitter, Bill Weber.
And that's Hut Strickland turning up the volume on the Circuit City Ford.
Yeah, how about that? That's kind of surprising, I'll tell you.
This sheet says you were 28th in practice. Now, what's going on here?
Well, you know, we've been fighting a problem with the front end a good bit, and Richard Broom and myself sat down and talked about it before qualifying, and we made some changes, and everything was the right way to go. You know, Eddie Middleton done a lot of tuning on the motor. He said he could help us a lot before qualifying, too, so it was a good run for us. It's kind of surprising because it really didn't feel that fast, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm really proud of the Circuit City Ford team. They're doing a great job this week.
All right, we'll see if it stands up. Good luck.
Thanks, Bill.
Car number 22, the MB&A Pontiac for Ward Burton. Ward currently tied for 8th in the point standings with Mark Martin, just 31 points behind Jeff Bodine. Currently 11th, first lap 15.984 seconds, 120.045 miles per hour for Ward Burton. Second time by for the Pontiac driver is a little bit quicker, 15.892 seconds, 120.740 miles per hour, which puts him 10th quickest. A moment ago, Ricky Rudd qualified at 15.798 seconds first time by. That was 121.458 miles per hour for Rudd. Second lap 15.880, 120.831. So his first lap good enough to put Ricky Rudd in 6th overall. You see the top 13 cars that have qualified, with Hut Strickland atop the list behind Jeff Burton, Kyle Petty, Kenny Schrader, and Terry Labonte in the top 5. Lake Speed on the track in the Mellon Ford Thunderburst, looking for a sponsor for the car number 9, and they have run awfully well this year. Impressive week after week, and yet still trying to find someone that want to put their name on the quarter panel. Once again, a great run by Lake Speed, 8th quickest, 15.867 seconds, 120.930 miles per hour on his first lap. Second lap, 15.942, slower, 120.361, but the first lap good enough to put him in the top 10, currently in 8th position. Car number 31, the Lowe's colors of Mike Skinner, the young man who was the pole sitter in Daytona for the Daytona 500. Second car out of the Richard Childress Racing Stable. As you watch the car number 31 of Mike Skinner on his 2 lap, let's check in with Benny Parsons, who's standing by with a very interested crew chief.
You know something, Jerry? I found out one thing with my new stopwatch. I'm not nearly as good as Ned Jarrett. How do you guys clock and get right on?
Well, it depends. You know, if you got a crew chief stopwatch there, or a car owner stopwatch, you know, or a media stopwatch, it depends on where you're at. Now, if that was a crew chief stopwatch, you'd probably be just about right. If it was a car owner stopwatch, you might be a 10th or 2 quicker.
I'm slow, so whose is that?
If you're slow, well, that would be who's ever lobbying for the most changes in downforce rules.
Oh, okay. Hey, Rusty Wallace on the racer. What do you think of this place? Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like being inside Ericsson Stadium. I believe here's going to be your pole right here, I think.
Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Let's watch Rusty Wallace, the Miller Lite Ford, fastest in both practice sessions. Had a little bit of do this morning over there. Didn't hit anything in the backstretch. And Rusty trying to put this car on the pole. Last time here, last August, he was the winner in the Goodies 500. Coming by, got to beat 122.623 miles an hour set by Hut Strickland. First time by for Rusty Wallace. There's the man they're chasing. And Rusty has done it, 15.526 seconds, 123.586 miles an hour. He beats him by almost a mile an hour. And there's some of the Miller crew. You saw Mike Egge, the engine builder. Here's the outside pole sitter, and Hut was right. It was not going to stand up. Rusty's second lap, 15.655, is slower, but his first lap good enough for the pole thus far in Busch pole qualifying at Bristol. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Kodiak Chevy car number 41, right side of your screen, just qualified 3rd quickest. Steve Grissom's first lap with the quicker of the 2, 15.670 seconds, 122.451 for the car number 41, puts him 3rd overall. Meanwhile, Bill is standing by with our new pole sitter.
Okay, Rusty Wallace has done it all so far today, and right now you're the fastest to this point. Going to stand up a 52.
I don't know if it'll stand up or not. The quickest car in practice was, besides me, was a 51. I feel as though the track's got a little looser, but I don't know. Some of those guys a little better qualifies. They might drag something out.
Well, you told us earlier you pushed it earlier in practice. How was your lap here?
Well, I tell you what, I pushed it really hard the first lap in a bonsai run earlier, and I ran that 44. In the second lap, I tried to go harder, and I spun it out. And this time here, I'd say I run a lap in between those two. A little on the conservative side, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, let's see how Jeff Bodine does. He was also fast this morning.
Rick Mass, by the way, was 9th quickest overall. Here is Jeff Bodine, the QVC Ford Thunderbird, 2nd quickest overall in practice.
Got off to a bad start, Jerry. Got sideways coming off the corner, coming down for the green flag, so that'll ruin that lap. 15.75 I had. We'll see what the clock gives him.
Benny, and he slips a little bit in that second lap. He's 15.654 first time by. 122.576 puts him 3rd overall, and he slipped on that second lap coming off of turn 2 on the second lap.
So coming off turn 4, coming down for the green flag, hurt that first lap, and on the second lap, I guess he slipped enough that he said, "What the heck? I'm not going to do anything," so he just quit.
But that's good enough for a 3rd fastest run. But it doesn't take much. One bobble here in a 15-second lap, and you're going to lose at least a half a dozen spots possible. Next car to attempt to qualify, Bobby TP Pontiac. 8 top 10 finishes in the last 9 short track races. Bobby Hamilton loves the short tracks, just like the man who owned that race car, King Richard Petty. Rusty Wallace stands, waits, and watches, trying to put his car on the pole at Bristol Motor Speedway, where he won last August in the Goodies 500. 2 consecutive laps to qualify. First time by, 18th quickest for Bobby Hamilton, 16.030 seconds, 119.701 miles per hour. They need to pick it up. Only the top 25 will be settled today in qualifying. As many as 43 cars could start Sunday's Food City 500. 15.891 quicker next time by for Hamilton. Speed escalates to 120.748 miles per hour. That puts him 16th overall. Next car to make an attempt to qualify, current Winston Cup point leader, Dale Jarrett, in the Quality Care Ford Credit Ford out of the Robert Yates stable, Todd Parrott and Company. Racing that car, Jarrett, 10 consecutive top 10 starts. Thundering out of turn 4, trying to beat 123.586 miles an hour set by Rusty Wallace. And right now he's currently 2nd quickest, 15.626 seconds, 122.795. Now most guys have been slowing down in the second lap. We'll see if Jarrett can pick it up just a mite and have a shot at Rusty. Second time by for Jarrett is slower by almost 0.2 of a second, 15.805, 121.405. Currently Dale Jarrett 2nd overall in qualifying, and they are still chasing Rusty Wallace. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, 2nd lap for the Realtree Chevrolet Monte Carlo for Dave Marcus. This is the backup car, the primary car involved in an incident this morning, so they've gone into the backup car. And considering they had limited practice, not bad. 20th right now for Marcus, 15.908 seconds, 120.619. The better of the 2 laps puts him 20th overall out of 23 cars that have qualified. One car that qualified a moment ago, 2nd quickest, that driver standing by with Bill Weber.
And that would be Dale Jarrett talking things over with Steve Allen here, one of his motor guys. Well, close.
Yeah, pretty close. I probably had a little more in it than what I got there. Tough racetrack, and hadn't been getting a hold of the track real good, but Todd and the guys made some changes, and the car was awful good.
Yeah, because we know you qualified well here, what, a year ago, and that car never raced, did it?
That definitely was in my mind before I went out there. I was going to bring this one back. I've got a good race car, I think, for the race, and Rusty's tough to beat. So I think don't think it'll hold up for 2nd, but I think it'll get us a good starting spot, and that's what we need here.
All right, good luck, Dale.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, that's your Winston Cup points leader to BP.
Okay, there's something I forgot to ask Ray Evernham just a moment ago when I was talking to him. He's right now giving some directions to the crew because qualifying is coming up in just a moment, and they're talking about it. I forgot to ask him about Ricky Craven. Ricky Craven, how's he doing?
He's doing great, Benny. Thanks for asking. I saw Ricky yesterday, and I know it means a lot to him, and he just wanted to say hi to all the people. A lot of people have been concerned about him, but he's doing great. Didn't even have his sling on yesterday. You know, he's looked good. We're going to get him rested. He's going to sit out this week, but he'll be back from Martinsville, and he'll be in good shape.
He's going to be driving in Martinsville.
Yes, and he really, really looked good, Benny. So there's no question he's going to be back 100%.
Really good news, Ray. Thanks.
Ricky Craven, anxious to get back from Martinsville, going to the Carolina Panthers trainers. I was over there this week, and Al Shuford and company really trying to get Ricky ready for Martinsville. 500 grueling laps on a half-mile racetrack. Kenny Wallace on the racetrack right now, 15.583 seconds, 123.134. Currently second quickest, first time by for Kenny. Great run for the Square D Ford. His second lap was slower, but who cares? The first lap was quick enough. And right now is an all-Wallace front row at Bristol, Tennessee. Rusty on the pole, Kenny on the outside, the bigger, older brother on the pole, the younger brother on the outside at 15.583 seconds. Here's the Interstate Batteries Pontiac of Bobby Labonte. Joe Gibbs owns the car. Jimmy Maycar is the crew chief. Bobby Labonte coming off a great run at Texas in the Interstate Batteries 500, finished third out there last Sunday. We'll begin the bumping procedure. Only the top 25 are going to stay in today's field. And right now, Morgan Shepherd on the bubble, 25th fastest. First lap for Bobby Labonte, 15.715. And there was Rusty giving his brother a handshake and congratulations. How about that for among the brothers? Labonte 122.100, eighth quickest. His second lap was slower, 15.760, 121.751 seconds. But his first lap good enough, putting him in the top 10 at 8th position. And here is the veteran. 12 times he has gone to victory lane, making his 45th start at Bristol Motor Speedway. 50-year-old Darrell Waltrip. And folks, remember the paint job. They're going back to the Budweiser era for Darrell Waltrip, the first of 5 nostalgic paint jobs you'll see as Darrell Waltrip celebrates his 25th anniversary in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. He is the Grand Marshal for Sunday's Food City 500, and he will give the command from inside the Parts America Chevrolet. First time by for DW, 15.996 seconds, 119.955 miles per hour, 24th quickest. Trying to pick it up second time by, and he slows down just a mite, 16.079, 119.336, and DW hangs in the top 25 at 24th. Let's go down to Bill Weber with Kenny Wallace.
Well, I ran into Kenny this morning. He said he was going to be good, just didn't want to bump the older brother off the pole, did he?
Well, I was trying. He's my big brother. He's taught me a lot, but you know, it's just a deal where the sun came out and it really had me worried. And you know, Square D is a great sponsorship. We've turned the intensity level up here the last 3 weeks, so the guys have really been getting on it. And had 2 good runs. Hopefully Sunday we'll have another good run.
Oh, Wallace front row?
Oh, man, that'd be great. I wonder if he'll let me in on the start.
Okay, well,
he probably won't.
Let's go see what Mike has to say about that, EP.
Yeah, now wait a minute. There's 3 Wallaces here. All Wallace front row. How about third? Or knocking those 2 out the guys off the front?
I could move Rusty and Kenny back one set on the pole, but I don't know if we're running quite that well, Benny, but we're running pretty good. You know, Spam Chevrolets run around here in the top 25 all day, so who knows, we might pull one out of the bag.
How about that all Wallace front row? That's pretty exciting.
I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. Now if we get a 1, 2, 3, that'd be that much better.
Yeah, or finish that way.
Yeah, we'll go for the finish. How's that? Thanks.
Good run for Ed Barrier in the Feed the Children Chevrolet. 15.859 seconds. His best lap, 120.991, puts him 16th quickest overall. Now this guy right here was among the quickest cars in practice. Jimmy Spencer was 3rd fastest behind Rusty Wallace and Jeff Bodine. There's the time to beat. Top left of the screen. Can Spencer do it? The Camel Ford on the clocks here at Bristol Motor Speedway. First time, 7th quickest for Jimmy Spencer, 15.680 seconds, 122.372. Spencer hammers the throttle out of turn 4, second lap of 2 consecutive qualifying. Most drivers have been slowing down second time by, and Spencer will indeed be the same, 15.909. 120.611, 7th quickest. Our pole sitter thus far in qualifying, Rusty Wallace at 123.586 miles per hour. Back with more from Thunder Valley in a moment. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, Robert Presley's Cartoon Network Chevrolet disqualified the 11th spot. His second lap was quicker of the 2, 15.752 seconds on his second lap now, 121.813 miles per hour. That puts him 11th quickest. Now, there have been 30 cars that have qualified, and there are the cars, only the top 25 will make it in the field today. Dave Marcus currently on the bubble. Hillen, Darrell Waltrip, Stanley Sprague, and Shepherd have been bumped from the top 25. Now, only 21 pits on the front straightaway, and currently Johnny Benson is 21st fastest. He is trying to hang on to a front stretch pit. Here's the car number 98, John Andretti. His 2 laps of qualifying. 15.828 seconds first time by, 121.228, 15.950. A little slower second time by, 120.301. That first lap puts him 16th quickest, and that bumps Dave Marcus from the top 25. Ernie Irvan, you heard him talk to Benny Parsons a moment ago. He said he got a cut on his chin. I talked to Ernie this morning. He said, well, as of Wednesday this week, he was considered not even running here. And the car out of shape. He gathers it back in. It bobbles up in turns 3 and 4. Ernie comes down. And as Benny Parsons told you, from the driver's perspective, that little bobble will cost him a lot of valuable time here on an extremely fast dirt-mile racetrack. First lap, 32nd fastest for Ernie Irvan, 16.265 seconds, 117.971 miles an hour. Much smoother, much more consistent second lap for Ernie Irvan. Let's see what he picked it up to. 26th quickest, 15.907 seconds, 120.626, but not good enough for the top 25. Let's go down to Benny.
Hey, Jeff, you get 2 laps around you. Didn't somebody tell you that you get 2 laps in qualifying?
I thought we were on a mile track.
No, 2 laps.
Oh, darn it. I probably could have had the pole, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you ran well enough. Why did you quit?
Ooh, I had enough.
What lap was enough? Huh?
QVC board had enough, and yeah, I came off of 2, and I was really trying to go for it. I knew the first lap wasn't as good as we'd been running, so I really drove in 1 good. And the car really stuck well. I jumped in the gas and carried a lot of speed off of 2, and it decided it wasn't going to turn. And I about knocked the wall down, so I had to let up. And of course, when you let up, you're going to slow down. And I knew that lap wasn't going to count very good, so I just came in.
Well, you know, we fenced him loose off 4. What?
Can I get that lap over again? Will they think they will?
No.
They won't let me?
No.
Well,
no.
You know, I don't know what happened to this racetrack. It went somewhere.
It vanished.
We lost a couple tenths. Even Rusty didn't run as fast as he had in practice. But his time will probably stand up. Of course, a couple good guys left. That guy named Mark Martin.
And Jeff Gordon. He's on the track right now. Hush talking. Jerry.
Hey.
All right, Jeff Bodine said, I've had enough. That sums it up. He wanted 1 lap and 1 lap only. By the way, Bill Elliott, 14 quickest by virtue of his first lap. As Jeff Gordon on the racetrack, 10 straight top 5 short track finishes. He's won back-to-back Food City 500s. There's the pole. Rusty Wallace and the bubble. Bottom of your screen, Ward Burton, 25th quickest. And Jeff Gordon and the DuPont Chevrolet. Lake Speed on the pit bubble at 21st position. First lap for Gordon, 15.715 seconds, 122.100 miles per hour. 9th quickest. That will bump the car number 22 from the top 25, Ward Burton. Second lap for Gordon, 3rd quickest, 15.611. He picked it up by about a 10th and a half, 122.913 miles per hour. So Gordon is 3rd behind Rusty and Kenny Wallace. Local favorite, they love the Kodak Chevrolet here in the Tri-Cities area. The shop's up in Abingdon, Virginia, just about 15 minutes away. Sterling Marlin, a Kodak film Chevy driver. And the locals really like the colors. They like all the drivers. The Morgan McClure team that lived in this area all their lives. And there are the numbers he's chasing. There's the bubble. 25th fastest, Bobby Hamilton. And the pole, Rusty Wallace. Quickest in practice. He is 2nd quickest in qualifying, 15.548 seconds, 123.411. Second lap, 15.642. It's slower, but who cares? The first lap is the one that counts for Sterling Marlin. And how about a Kodak moment as Kenny Wallace has just been shuffled off the front row back to 3rd. But this guy right here knows his car and his driver, Rusty Wallace, are hanging on. That's Robin Pemberton, crew chief for the pole sitting thus far, Rusty Wallace. Bell South Chevrolet for Joe Nemechek on the to qualify. His laps. And we welcome everyone joining us from ESPN News. Mike Greenberg bringing the folks over to enjoy live Busch Pole qualifying for this 37th running of the Food City 500 here at Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol Motor Speedway. Currently, our pole sitter is Rusty Wallace, who's run a lap at 123.586. There is Rusty Wallace. Second right now is Sterling Marlin, one of the local favorites because the Kodak shop is nearby, and Bill Weber is standing by with him.
Well, Sterling, a great run for you. I know you're pleased with that.
Yeah, well, I tell you, the guys on the Kodak team done a great job, and we didn't test here and just brought a car that's pretty basic old car we run 2 years ago, and it's run good out of the box. And like I said, the guys worked hard, and it should be good to win here for Kansas.
Yeah, hometown favorite.
Yeah, it is. I'm from Tennessee, and the shop's just right up the road, and they should give us pretty trophies, so we're going to give it all Sunday.
It'll be a good Kodak moment, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Sterling Marlin, second quickest, and Mike Wallace, the third Wallace brother, didn't fare so well. His lap's 16.183 seconds, 118.569 miles per hour. His second lap a little bit quicker by 0.002 of a second, 16.181, 118.584, puts him 38th quickest in the field. On the Speedway, the Family Channel Ford, Family Channel Prime Star sponsorship on that Ford Thunderbird for Ted Musgrave. Times of chase, the pole of Rusty Wallace, 15.526 seconds. The bubble, 25th fastest speed car, number 37 of Jeremy Mayfield. There's the top 25 right there. Pole to top, 123.586 on the bottom. In 25th spot is Jeremy Mayfield at 120.816 miles per hour. Musgrave had a good run. First lap, third quickest, 15.581 seconds. The speed, 123.150 miles per hour. His second lap is slower, 15.747, 121.852. But that's good enough for third quickest. There is Rusty Wallace, Mike Egge to the left side of your screen, and the guy facing us in the dress glasses there, that's Robin Pemberton, who's the crew chief on the Roger Penske-owned Penske South Racing effort that currently sits on the pole here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Second fastest qualifier, there is the Kodak film driver, Sterling Marlin, who shops, the Morgan McClure shops, are about 15 miles away, just up the road here from Bristol, Tennessee. Here is the Hardee's Ford, Greg Sachs, car number 20 on the Speedway. There are the times to beat for the pole and for the bubble. And the bubble is the top 25 in qualifying. That's how many we take in this first round of qualifying. That currently is the car number 9 of Lake Speed. Greg Sachs, first lap, 40th quickest, 16.202 seconds, 118.430 miles an hour. He will not like that. He'll have to come back and qualify in second round at 16.395 seconds, 117.036. Back with more live Busch Pole qualifying from Bristol after this. Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, you can really drive on Information Superhighway with NASCAR Online at www.nascar.com. NASCAR Online provides fans with the most recent and complete information about NASCAR. Features include information on all 12 of NASCAR's touring divisions, tracks and event information, and up-to-the-minute qualifying and race results, the latest headlines, chats, fan polls, all that and more on NASCAR Online. Well, there is Brett Bodine's close call Ford. 12th quickest in qualifying, 15.713 seconds. The faster of his two laps, 122.115 miles per hour. As Bill Weber is standing by with Ted Musgrave.
Hey, Ted, nice job.
I didn't do nothing. I mean,
you were in there, weren't you?
Well, yeah, but
both eyes open.
All we did, we changed the sway bar in the car, and that's all we've done. So I didn't do much of a job. The guys back at the shop, when they set it up, they had it right. I mean, the car's just been working excellent all the while. And we've actually had some really good race cars all through the season, so I'm pretty excited about this here.
You're just saving yourself for Sunday, aren't you?
Well, you know, you got to be patient here at Bristol. Qualifying, you got to kind of put it right on the line, and it did. It got pretty loose getting in a corner, but it turned just the right amount and grabbed again. So, like I say, it got me pretty scared, but then again, I was really glad to get that type of lap. And for the guys, I mean, like I say, they've been working really hard this year.
All right, great run. Good luck Sunday.
Thank you very much.
All right, 20th for Chad Little in the John Deere Pontiac car number 97. First lap, the quicker of the two, 15.790 seconds, 121.520 miles an hour. And just a moment ago, Michael Waltrip did a great job hanging on to the Citgo Ford Thunderbird, owned by the Wood brothers. Coming off turn 2 a moment ago, the car got out of shape, and Michael gathered it back in. We'll see how that will impact his speeds. First lap considerably slower because of that near spin, 16.991 seconds, 112.930 miles an hour. That puts him 44th in qualifying. Second lap should be much quicker. at 15.933 seconds, 120.429. Here's what happened on his first lap in turn 1, entering turn 2. The car got sideways. He backs out of the throttle, turned the wheels hard right, and he improved on that second lap, 15.933 at 120.429 miles an hour, puts him 38th. But you got to believe he had really heated up his tires considerably. Well, the man who has won the last 4 poles consecutively here at Bristol, Tennessee. He has dominated Busch Series racing in 1997. No one since August of 1994 has won a pole here except this guy right here. And tomorrow we're going to have our live coverage of the Morris Snacks 250 coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And of course he has dominated that race too in years past. Mark Martin's first lap, 15.799, 22nd quickest, 121.451, and he shuts it off. 22nd overall, not at all expected for Mark Martin. He shuts it off and comes down pit road. Will come back down in line with the other cars that have qualified. No, he's going to turn the car into his pit, so evidently a problem with the Valvoline Ford. A lot of coverage coming your way Sunday. We'll kick it off with Dave Despade and company. NASCAR today, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Then our live flag-to-flag coverage, 1 o'clock Eastern, the 37th running, the NASCAR Winston Cup Food City 500. Jeff Gordon having won back-to-back here in the spring of 96 and 95. On the track, the car number 40. He was the pole setter in Atlanta Motor Speedway early in the year. Robbie Gordon. Felix Sabatis own Coors Light machine. First quickest, first time by for Gordon, 16.030 seconds, 119.701 miles per hour. Trying to pick it up to get in the top 25 second time by. Most of the drivers have had a slower second lap because of the tires heating up, but not Gordon. He is quicker second time by, 15.781 seconds, 121.589. Currently 20th overall is Rusty on the right side of your screen, Robin Pemberton left side of your screen, and Mark Martin and Steve Mill and the Valvoline crew looking beneath the hood. And the final qualifier, ladies and gentlemen, a great run in Texas for Dale Earnhardt, a 7-time Winston Cup champion. Impressive run for Earnhardt out in Texas, finishing 6th after starting 15th. Boy, would he love to sit on the pole, and Rusty Wallace knows this guy, you can't call it over until this guy runs. Dale Earnhardt, 42nd fastest first time by, 16.007 seconds, 119.873. Second lap for the Goodrich Chevrolet driver. Will it be quicker than the first lap? It is quicker, 15.845 seconds, 121.098. Earnhardt is 29 quickest, but Rusty Wallace is our pole sitter here at Bristol. Benny?
Congratulations, Rusty.
Thanks, Benny. I appreciate it, man. It's I'd like to thank the crew. The car's running great. It came off the truck flying, and man, I finally needed a pole. I haven't had a pole since so long. It's unreal.
You know how long it's been?
No, I don't.
Let me tell you?
Yes.
June of 1994.
Jeez, man.
That's a long time.
A long time. I've come close a couple times, but I'd just like to thank all the guys. They did a great job at the shop and here, and the car handled really good.
But you guys don't really concentrate on the pole. You go for the race setup.
I know. It's just when I get on a pole, it makes me feel that much better. If it's running that good in practice, it'll probably be really good in the race. But we got a good setup. We tested here last year after the first race. We learned a lot of stuff that helped me, and I won the night race, and we just put the same type of stuff back into it. So hope it's going to work out, and so far, so good. All systems go.
Well, Weber, has Jack Roush ever figured out what's wrong with a Valvoline Ford?
Let's find out. Jack, it has been a battle for the 6 car all day.
Yeah, it sure has. We came down here and, you know, the engine misfired. The starter didn't work. We had trouble with the starter. We just had a struggle. What I understand, we had trouble steering boxes as well. We put a fresh steering box on it right before qualifying, a power steering box, and I guess he had no power steering, so I think what the problem was.
Okay, they're very disappointed down here, but they're going to work on it. Right now, he's on the backstretch, I believe, guys, if we get washed out here tomorrow.
Indeed. Rusty Wallace's first pole since June 10th, 1994 comes at Bristol, Tennessee. We'll come back to wrap up qualifying in a moment. Our Speed World coverage of Busch Pole qualifying for the 37th running in the Food City 500 has been brought to you by Excalibur Auto Polish, designed to protect and defend your car. Take a look at the final results in qualifying. 47 cars trying to qualify for 43 spots. Rusty Wallace on the pole. Marlin, that's the front row. Some of these drivers out of the top 25 will be thinking about what they will do for second round qualifying, as possible weather could play a role in qualifying tomorrow. Big weekend coming up here of racing. Our coverage of Busch Grand National Series actually coming up tomorrow. The Morris Snacks 250, and then of course Sunday, our live flag-to-flag coverage at 1 o'clock Eastern time of the Food City 500. Coming up next, we're going to dip into the archives of last year's NASCAR Winston Cup Food City 500. For Benny Parsons and Bill Weber, I'm Jerry Punt saying congratulations, Rusty Wallace. You're the pole sitter. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader.